Hey there, it's Matt. It's Thursday, January 9th. Today, I'm just going to do a quick little video here. Not much to it other than the 308 Jakl has arrived. So these were dropped December 27th. I managed to snag one out of the first batch. It just arrived at Boise Black Rifle, who ironically is one of the sponsors for this video. It arrived there today and I brought it home. I got home just a little while ago. The gun has been in my possession for all of maybe 2 hours. And speaking of channel sponsors, I'd like to thank my two primary channel sponsors. First up, Boise Black Rifle. Thank you very, very much for all you guys do. Without them, I would not be able to do this. And my other primary channel sponsor is US Law Shield. I'd like to thank them very much. US Law Shield is basically, in some states it's considered insurance. Where I live in Idaho, it is not. It's called a prepaid legal service. Either way, it is insurance for those who carry firearms for self-defense. If you ever get in a self-defense shooting, you are going to want a lawyer on your side. US Law Shield gives you a phone number. You can get a hold of a actual attorney 24 hours a day. Big thanks to both of them. Well, now let's get into talking about the Jakl. Obviously, I've not got it. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. I haven't had a chance to shoot it yet. I'm hoping to get out and do some of that tomorrow. But I wanted to show it to you guys as it arrived. So this is a 308 Jakl. I have two other Jakls. I have a 300 Blackout SBR, and then I have a 5.56 rifle, full-length rifle. Both of those have the F5 stock on them. This time I went with the B&T stock just to try something different. Cosmetically, I like the looks. I like some of the adjustments on this thing, but what I don't like is its adjustment. It is not easy to adjust. It takes two hands. I have to squeeze two sides of the button and then pull this out or push it back in. Not a fan of that. I do like their cheek riser adjustment. And this piece here on the back of the stock makes kind of a one piece longer cheek rest, which is different from the F5. The F5, the adjustable cheek riser is not as stable as this one. So not a big fan of that. It does have a QD cup on either side of the stock. They are full rotation. They're not anti-rotation QD cups. On the fore end here, you've got two full rotation QD cups as well for your sling swivels, which is an improvement. I do have my 5.56 rifle here. So here's the 5.56 rifle compared to the 308 rifle. The 5.56 only had, granted, I don't know if they've changed this since they do have lots of running changes, but mine only has QD connections on the fore end at the back by the receiver. There are none at the front end. So that's one improvement I like that they did on the fore end. It is definitely different shaped here. It's squared off on the bottom of the front receiver, whereas on the 5.56 gun, it maintains the same profile all the way back to the receiver. That said, I expected it to be heavier because it's going to be, it's a 308 as compared to a 5.56 gun. Every AR, 308 AR, is going to be heavier than a 5.56 rifle. I shouldn't say every, because the SFAR is, Ruger's SFAR is kind of one of those exceptions. Majority of 308 ARs are going to be heavier than an equivalent 5.56 gun. That said, I don't think, I was expecting this to be a little bit heavier than it is, which is kind of, it's a nice surprise. The Jakls they do tend to run a little heavy, so I was expecting this one to be a little heavier than it is. This is probably lighter than my 308 AR. Granted, that's got an 18-inch barrel. This has only got a 14.5. So this is pin and welded. It's a SilencerCo ASR muzzle device. I have ASR devices on my cans, so I will be shooting this suppressed and non-suppressed once I get it out to the range. It does have a 7-position adjustable gas block. One of my gripes since I bought my very first Jakl, and it still maintains all the way to this day, is they don't mark anything on here as to which direction to turn this thing for an adjustment. It is not hard to throw a little negative on one side and a positive on the other side. They could stamp it into the receiver. They don't, so I get out a Sharpie and I mark it. So that way when I'm at the range, I don't have to go, oh, crap, which way do I turn this thing? It's marked on here. So The lower, so nothing super crazy going on in here. The 5.56 Jakl has a big black bumper in here where the buffer tube is. The 308, it's apparently orange. That's probably so they can differentiate them. It is shaped differently, I will say that, from the 5.56 one, because the 5.56 one's basically like a thick flat washer, whereas this one there's an indent in it and the screw is way back in there. The stock adapter for the rear of the receiver is different than the 5.56 gun. There's a lot more to it on the 308 version. Don't know what trigger this is. It feels a lot like an ALG ACT, their advanced combat trigger, but it doesn't have a purple spring like the ALG does. So this could very well be their own trigger. This might be a trigger from Schmidt. I don't see any markings to make me think it's a Schmidt. Oh, I take it back. It's got a couple S's on the hammer there, so this probably is a Schmidt trigger, but it's just a standard single stage mil spec. That'll be getting swapped out on this gun, most likely. I'll probably snag one of my Geisley SDCs out of another gun and put it in here. For the first range trip, I'm going to shoot this thing basically all stock. Obviously, I'm going to have to put some sort of sighting system on here, so I've got some backup irons. I'll probably just throw a red dot on it and hit a shorter distance range just to try and get it sorted out, see what things are going to change. Oh, I did forget to address this too. The grip that comes on this thing is a very strange choice. It's a Magpul Myad. I've been working at Boise Black Rifle for over 4 years since we opened. October was 4 years. I think I sold 2 of these, maybe one. We have never reordered them. We still have some in stock. It is a very odd choice of a grip. It's one of the Magpul's older designs. Not real common. I will definitely be swapping this out. Not a fan of the grip angle, not a fan of the grip at all. I'm going to be putting a B5 Type 23 on here. I do like the stock. It does feel good shouldered. My only complaint about the B&T stock is going to be the way it adjusts. The recoil spring in this doesn't feel crazy heavy compared to the 5.56 gun. I mean, it's obviously a little bit heavier, but not anything super crazy. So, tune back in. I will have a video here, I don't know when exactly, but it'll be some shooting on this thing out at the range, and we'll see how it shoots. As it sits now, I'm liking it quite a bit, so we'll see what happens.